With a surprise, we all will discover where our fate will lie on a blue wave, we rise to save the day. Only me, only you can let our hearts sail away on a blue wave.
Who is the guy who comes from Fresno? Who is the guy who's always so sweet? Who is the guy who loves his mama bone? Everyone knows it's Travis.
Aw, thank you so much.
Very good.
That was amazing.
She's good.
I'm not coming for Rocky Mountain Mike's crown, but you know.
I don't know. You better watch out.
Yeah. The reason I only talked on the radio, I would never sing. Oh my gosh, this is not a singing voice.
No.
See, I
really, you sound like you could sing. You have kind of a deep voice. It sounds like you could sing. Yeah.
Nope.
Wow.
Not good.
Karen can. She's very good at it. She has a beautiful voice.
You could do thank you, in like a doo-wop band or something.
He could do the doo-wop part. Yeah.
I could do a sing talk deep voice part.
Yeah. Just add something like that guy from Bowser, whatever his name was. Bowser
from Sha-Na-Na?
Yeah. Give me Bowser.
What was it?
Yeah. That's what he would do. He would do the deep stuff and just repeat it over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. So we're so happy. I'm so excited to have you on and to see you again because it feels.
I know we miss you. I really do. We miss you so much over there.
It's been a while since I've been on the show, and I'm trying to think the last time I would have seen you in person, Karen. And Anita, we've never met in person. I can't even say that.
Yeah.
No, because I never. Because the shows are never in Texas.
Yeah.
So I never. Yeah.
So it would have been, I think, 2022 because I came into LA for the show. Was that 2022? And I want to say it was 2022, and I was able to come in studio with you guys.
And I think and obviously we saw you at the show there too.
Yeah.
I'm trying to because I didn't make it to the Sexy Liberal show last year in 23.
Okay.
But I am supposed to be there this year.
Oh, you are? You're going to be there in LA?
I should be there in LA this year.
Oh, that's cool.
If we had a conversation at my birthday party here, did Stephanie talk about the birthday party?
No, I don't think so. Did she?
So. I don't think so.
Stephanie and Frangela came to my 50th birthday party.
Oh,
well, happy birthday.
Thank you.
Yes.
And we were talking about, so I'll be there at the show in November.
Yeah.
Although I'm going to say I'm girding my loins for this show because the last time I went to a show when I wasn't working for Stephanie was in 2016, and it was the Saturday before the election. And
oh no, don't say that.
We were all so excited and pumped up and jazzed. And Jill and I had actually gone and done like phone banking for Hillary that day, and we went to the show, and it was like this great energy and everything. And then
kabam!
But I think. What I think is different now is that I think we have learned our lesson from 2016. And when I say we, I don't mean us because we were always voting. But I think a lot of Americans who didn't think it was possible or didn't think you could get elected learned the reality is, he can get elected.
Oh, yeah. You stay home. Yep.
We've got to take him serious as a candidate. So that's why I am so excited about the energy and the excitement around Kamala this time around. I was riding with Biden, and the day that he made the announcement, I'd gone upstairs and Dylan was downstairs, and I yelled, "Babe, Biden just resigned on Twitter."
I know.
Not resigned, but withdrew from the campaign. And I screamed that downstairs, and he had the Sunday shows on, and I was running downstairs, and then it was in rapid succession watching the statement come out about how he's going to endorse Kamala, and just the groundswell that instantly happened around her. I don't think I've ever been more proud of the Democratic Party in my entire life. I know, me neither.
There was because there was so much anxiety around those at that time after the debate because we didn't know what was going to happen. But if Biden stepped down, I mean, what if he didn't pick Kamala? There was going to be a revolt in the Democratic Party by a lot of Black women and who definitely they were riding with Biden too. A lot of Black women. We saw that on Twitter and on Instagram. Mm-hmm. So it was a very scary time. And so when he did that, it was such a beautiful thing. And then when he endorsed her immediately, oh my God, there was so much relief. It was so much relief. And the fact, she raised all that money right away and everybody seemed to, just get on board. And God, it just felt so good.
Yeah. Like the Black women for Kamala, the Black men for Kamala, the white women answering the call. Was it dudes for Kamala?
White dudes for Kamala. Yeah.
Because I think that was all after, we had the debate, and then there's all these big donors. So Rob Reiner came out and
who were holding out
Clooney, and they were all saying he needs to step down, something, whatever. And I remember being really mad. I was like, stop it, because he came out and he showed himself to be completely competent talking about foreign policy. And, it's like, that was a one-off. Okay. That was, and, one bad debate should not define the rest of the campaign or define him.
It was,
but then, so it was like all of that tension. And then when it happened, I remember my dad literally, when I sent a text message to my family group, he called me up right away and he was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh, you were upset, Karen. I talked to you. She was upset.
I was
okay, but she was crying. She was very upset.
I was very upset. And we jumped on a Zoom call and a bunch of the, Steph heads and mooks got on and everybody just we were all therapy and everything for one another.
Because we were very upset.
Yeah. And then all the rumors, about the Congressional Black Caucus saying that that they were getting pressure.
And AOC.
That it wasn't going to be Kamala and AOC came out and made that video. So for me, it was just this is going to be a nightmare. This is just going to.
That's what I mean.
They don't pick Kamala. So anyway, but like you said, Travis, and I mean, once it happened, just the groundswell of support and then followed up by the DNC. I mean, I don't think my feet touched the ground the entire week of the DNC.
Oh my God. It was such a great feeling. It was such a relief because it was stressful to defend Biden. It really was at that time. And I loved Joe Biden and I was going to vote for him and I was going to work, towards getting him elected no matter what. But it was stressful because there was so much, the media was piling on him, the New York Times, MSNBC, all these places, these that we used to trust, like Rachel Maddow, and there was a lot of anxiety.
I think we were all feeling that same anxiety though, and I think what was more frustrating than anything else was that we were all sitting there going, something has to happen. Something has to happen.
Yep.
The hammer's going to drop and something's going to change, but we didn't know what that was. And so it was less about will he or won't he, but what's going to happen. We needed to have this definitive answer of what was going to happen and how we're going to move forward as a party. And the way he did it, and the way everyone rallied around Kamala and just everyone kind of came together all at once, you could tell that we were all just biting our nails, just waiting for that one thing. I mean, I remember Mama Bone is not a political person at all, but it was after the debate, before he had resigned, when Biden got COVID. Mm-hmm. And I remember my mom talking, and my mom is very, she does not like ageism at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't either.
And she was very angry. She was very angry at the way people were treating Dianne Feinstein last time she ran for election. Now, it turned out that she probably might not have been, shouldn't have run that time, but that was a decision she made for herself. Right. But my mom was really angry about that. But then when she saw Biden, when he had COVID and trying to get out of the car and somebody was trying to help him and you and my mom was like, he just looks weak. I don't know if he can do this.
Yeah.
And to hear my mom say that, who, doesn't want to call the age card on anyone, I was like, wow, it's penetrating through to her, because she does not watch the news we do. I mean, my mom is a liberal through and through, but she doesn't watch the news and pay attention to stuff the way we do. And if it had penetrated that much to her, I was like, yeah, it's something needs to change. And it was shortly thereafter. I think that was like the Thursday or Friday, before he resigned on Sunday.
He was that debate. The problem with that debate was that it kind of confirmed, we were defending, Biden against these charges by like the New York Times and the right-wing media, that he was old and he was forgetting everything and he was walking off and wandering off and he didn't know what was going on. We were like, oh no, he's fine. You guys are just, just trying to take little pieces of what he says and edit it and make it look like he's, confused all the time. And then that debate made him look exactly like they were saying he was. Yeah. And it was, and we'd been defending him, and it just,
It was rough on all of us. We collectively went through that together.
Yeah.
But we went through that so we could be where we are today.
Yes.
That's right. And we're stronger and better, for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Can I tell you a funny story too? Just this is how engaged people were following that. So I believe it was the week after the Republican convention, which I didn't watch for the first time in a long time.
I didn't either. Yeah.
Because I didn't have to watch it for work.
Oh,
so it was nice to like be able to step away from that. But Dylan and I went on, now that I don't work for Stephanie, I can have longer than a 1 week vacation. We went on our first big vacation since we started dating, and we went on a gay cruise.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
And where did you go?
But there's an important piece of this too. It was from Athens to Barcelona.
Wow.
And the day that we were in Mykonos was the day that Kamala was supposed to be announcing her VP pick. And, because we're way ahead of you, like we woke up, thinking, okay, it's like 3 a.m. Maybe it's leaked. The first thing we're all doing is looking at our social media, and no, nothing's leaked. And we go get off the boat. We're in Mykonos. We're at this beautiful beach club. The gays have taken over.
Yes.
And we're all checking our phones because everyone wants to know what's going on back home and who is Kamala going to pick in the Veep Stakes. And literally, I kid you not, it was like at 3 p.m. in the afternoon on a beach in Mykonos. All of the gays are going, it's Tim Walz. And like someone's like, oh, he was the head of the Gay Straight Alliance at his high school.
Oh my God, that's so sweet. So people knew that about him already.
It was like that quick that people were on it, and it was like we were, again, like I said, we're on a beach in Mykonos, as far away from U.S. politics and any of this stuff could possibly be, and everyone on that beach was talking about Kamala and Tim Walz. And I was like, this is how it's like broken through, when you're supposed to be checked out and not paying attention to stuff, and you still care about and still want to know this information. And that to me was like one of those moments where I was like, oh yeah, people are back in. People are all in on this.
People are excited. It was exciting.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. That gave me chills.
Me too. I know.
Oh my God, that is so amazing. And that, and that he does have that background. He is a true ally too.
I love his wife too. I mean, they talk about these students that they both worked at the same high school, and how the first day of school, she told them, if her classroom was a safe space for, gay and lesbian students. And in the mid 90s.
Yeah.
Right.
That's incredible.
That was a different time for that. That was,
my God. Yeah.
I was out of college that time. And even in college, it was kind of, I remember going back and speaking with students at my old university down in San Diego after the fact. And it was like, it amazed me how far people had come just in like the 4-5 years since I graduated from college, as far as understanding the acceptance, the gay straight alliances. When I was writing for the gay newspaper down in San Diego, like seeing high schools with programs that couldn't have existed when I was in high school, let alone college, probably.
No, it wasn't really till the mid 2000s and start, after gay marriage was ruled on, and then it started to really accelerate, I think. More acceptance. But but the mid 90s, no.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah. So speaking of, the 90s and then even before that, with the 80s, important work that you're doing now, Travis. I don't know if you want to share the very important work that you're doing with AHF. So go.
I can tell you all kinds of stories. So, well, first of all, I work for, like you said, AHF. It's AIDS Healthcare Foundation. We are the largest HIV and AIDS and HIV care providers in the world. We have 2 million lives in care right now with us. We are in Chicago. We've got offices in Texas. Anita, we had our World AIDS Day concert down in Houston last year.
Wow.
We are, like I said, we're global. We're in countries all over the world, like I said, 2 million lives in care. And our biggest mission is to provide quality care regardless of your ability to pay. So and we have safe spaces where you can go in and get HIV tested at any of our out of the closet thrift stores. I know you guys have one there in Chicago. Anita, probably the closest one to you is going to be like in Austin, Texas, I believe.
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
That one just recently opened.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Yeah.
24 shops nationwide. There is one in Dallas, one in Houston, and one in Austin. And then, of course, we have one in Chicago on Halstead. Mm-hmm. So I am definitely going to be going there.
By the way, go there. They have some really, like, here's the thing I'll tell you about Out the Closet. And I live like a block from the West Hollywood one. I literally got a brand new Burberry button-down shirt there that somebody had donated. The buttons were still attached, like they'd never taken the extra buttons off of it.
Wow.
They were like in a little plastic bag attached. The gays be getting rid of some good stuff.
It's called Out of the Closet?
Yes.
Okay. It's a consignment store?
It's a thrift store. And so you can go in there, and we also have at all of our locations, most of our locations, I should say, we have free HIV testing available at most locations. A lot of them are built in complexes. I believe the one in Austin is a part of a larger complex where our healthcare center is attached to it. Mm-hmm. But for people out there who are like Kevin, our hilarious gay, if he's not on PrEP, if he wants to get on PrEP, we have PrEP. That is pre-exposure prophylactics is what that stands for. And that basically is a pill that you can take that can prevent you from getting HIV.
Wow. Yeah, no, that's incredible that they have that now. Yeah.
And you can literally go into our locations. They'll do the blood draw, get your negative test, and they will either work with your insurance to get it to you for free, or they will work with state or federally funded programs to get you those pills for free. So there's no reason anyone should be.
I was going to ask you about the cost.
Today.
They're probably pretty expensive, right? Are they?
They are expensive drugs, but there are programs in place to make sure that you get them. Yeah. That's part of our mission. So it's a great thing. And I got to go to I'll be going down to AIDS Walk in Atlanta in 2 weeks. We were supposed to have it last week, the weekend of the hurricane, but we postponed. But I'm going down to AIDS Walk in Atlanta. So if any of your listeners are in Atlanta, we have a concert on Saturday, October 19th. Lil' Kim is going to be performing in Piedmont Park. Wow. And we'll be having the walk there that day. And then we'll be in Florida in March for the 20th anniversary of the Florida AIDS Walk. But I got to go to that last year as well. So we're doing some fun. We're doing some really, really cool stuff. Karen, I should have let you know we had our burlesque show in Chicago last February. And I was with the team in New York working on it, doing social media for it. But we did a burlesque show that was a West Side Story theme.
Oh wow.
And it was phenomenal. And we're going to be taking out a new show this year, but I can't say anything more about it right now because we have not made any announcements.
That is for the organization that you work for? That's the funds go for that?
Yeah, AIDS Healthcare Foundation. That's one of our outreach events that we do. I know that we will have them again this year, and we usually do them in February. So
yeah, if
I am.
When you can, let me know because we can get a group together,
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to be in Chicago this year, but I will let you know the next time we're going to be in Chicago. Okay. We tend to do the tours in different regions. So last year was like our northern region tour. But I will definitely let you know. And if people want to follow my work, it's at AIDS Healthcare on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere. And can I do one more plug?
Yes, of course.
We have 2 ballot initiatives on the ballot in California. So I'm still involved in political campaigns, but at a whole new level now because we have two ballot initiatives on the ballot in California. One is to lift the statewide ban on rent control in California. And that is Prop 33. We're encouraging people to vote yes on Prop 33. And then we also have, there's also another ballot initiative, Prop 34. And that is one that was put on the ballot by the California Apartments Association, the big landlords who own all of these big apartment complexes who are charging these sky high rents. They were pissed at us for putting rent control on the ballot. So they put an initiative on the ballot that would strip our ability to provide for care for HIV people in California.
Oh my God.
It's written
That's
in such
disgusting.
a way that we're the only people that would be affected by this ballot initiative. So vote no on 34. It is a bully tactic. It's absolutely insane what they're doing. So yes on 33 and no on 34 are the two big political pushes I would like to put out there as well.
That is monstrous.
You know what, Travis, I just got to, I just want to say something because what you're doing, I think is so important. I had a half brother that died of AIDS in 1992. And nothing was, back then, that's what you did. You died from it.
There were no options.
And it's always kind of haunted me because I didn't know. I mean, we, started to get to know each other. He was my half brother. And I didn't even know, he didn't come out to me. And he sent me, the way I found out was he sent me an invitation to an AIDS walk in New York City. And my mother died at that time, shortly after that. And I didn't get back to him. And then he died. And I've always felt haunted by that. But I've talked to my sister who took care of him and he went through hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of really good people. I had some friends that I grew up with. And of course, when AIDS hit, we were all grown and out of the house. And so, kind of lost touch with some people. And that was pre-Facebook and, other social media. So I only heard about it like years later that, my dear friend's big brother, Tommy Pinter, who was just like one of the best people in the whole wide world. One of the most gentle, kind, talented, funny. And, to hear that he lost his life to AIDS. It's horrible. Yeah. It's horrible.
So I was about 5 years off of that because I was in high school junior high and high school when HIV and AIDS first became a public, the public awareness around it came up. So I grew up in that generation where it was like sex equals death. Right. It's kind of like what was pounded into our heads, and condoms and using protection. And so that was like ingrained in me. And then by the time I graduated and I started to come out and starting to meet guys, it was in the late 90s. And that was fortunately as the treatments had gotten better, right, and the survivability was better. And then, then we get to the antiretroviral cocktails that are out now, where you can live for months, not months. I mean, you can live a very
normal life,
happy, healthy life. Well, when I said months, there are injectables that they have. Yeah. They have injectables now where you don't even have to worry about taking your meds every day. You can go in and get a shot once every few months, and that will provide you with all the meds you need to keep your HIV in check. You can live a
normal life. Yeah, basically
normal, undetectable life, and that combined with PrEP, there's no reason for anyone to be
spreading it.
To be contracting it. Yeah,
contracting it. Yeah. Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah, there's so many things. What about globally? Do you do anything other than inside the United States? Or
no, we're in countries all over the world. We are.
You are.
I would say the majority of our cases that we are treating are in Africa.
Really?
We are in Europe. Shout out to Malcolm Nance. We have a huge program in Ukraine.
Really? Do they have a lot of problems? I mean, do they still have a lot of problems with Ukraine with AIDS right now, or HIV spreading there?
Yes, and for them for people who do have HIV to get the drugs they need to keep it in check, especially with the war going on, supply chains. We're still able to get our supplies there, and we also have providing for PrEP in those countries as well. And we also have our Girls Act, and we do products. We have programs for women as well. We're delivering menstrual supplies and menstrual products to women in Ukraine, where the supply chain is broken down there too. So we're doing a lot of work. It's kind of hard to explain everything that we do as a company.
I know it's probably take a long time. Yeah,
but we're in, like I said, we're in Europe, we're in Africa, India, and a lot of Asia. I think Australia is like really the only continent that we're not in. South America as well. So we're
So the website, correct me if I'm wrong. So I found ahftimeline.org, and you can actually see the history. And of course, the thrift store. You guys, I don't know if you know this, but you're approaching 34 years of the thrift store.
For the thrift store?
Yeah,
34 years? Wow.
34 years.
That was how we, in our early days, that's how we were able to fund our operation.
Yeah.
Was through donations to the thrift stores. And since then we've branched out. Like, so we have the thrift stores, we have AIDS Healthcare Foundation, we have our pharmacies. And here's another thing I'll throw out there to you. Our pharmacies are a nonprofit pharmacy, so anyone can get their prescriptions at our pharmacies. I'm not on PrEP because I'm in a monogamous relationship with Dylan, and I don't have HIV, so I'm not on any of the HIV drugs. But I transferred all of my prescriptions to our pharmacy because, unlike going to like a CVS or a Walgreens or a Walmart or any of these other places, all of the profits that they get from my insurance company goes back into our programs to treat and prevent HIV and AIDS. So you could actually get your prescriptions filled in the AHF pharmacy if it's convenient for you.
So anybody can use that? Anybody can use that pharmacy?
Anyone can use that pharmacy. It's not just for HIV care, but that is primarily their business. In fact, when I went into the locations around the corner from me, 'cause it's the closest pharmacy to me, I said, "Hey, these are my prescriptions." She's like, "Well, these we don't regularly stock these because we're HIV." And I go, "I know, I work for you." And then they got them in stock, and now it's like they'll like instant message me on our Teams account, for our work Teams account, to say, "Hey, your refills are ready. Come on in."
Well, that's amazing. So can I ask you, do they also do like gender affirming care? Like
yes, we do.
Really?
Yes, we have all of that.
You should use that pharmacy. Yeah. If the profits go towards your, organization.
Yeah. And Karen, I'll connect you. In fact, I know that one of our head doctors in Chicago, Dr. Tyson, who is a very good-looking man, is a very, very good doctor, a very good doctor, and a very nice guy.
But you had to add that, huh? He's a very good.
Hey, you know what?
When he got some doctors who are eye candy, you're going to tell people about it.
You got to tell people, yeah.
Absolutely.
Sure.
I'm down with that.
But yes, no, we do also do gender affirming care too. So yes.
Okay. I'll have to tell Leon, because right now he's getting his stuff filled at Walgreens, and I would much rather have him go to you guys.
Yeah, and they're probably just better. They know more about the type of medications and stuff, or they're more. They just.
Well, the place he goes to. Oh my gosh, I'm going to mess it up. I want to say Howard Brown, and so that's it's a lot, very LGBTQ, and they've got a lot of youth coming in there, and a lot of hormone treatment and things like that. So he's been going. Yeah, we can that
if our pharmacy is convenient for him, and I don't know about I'm not sure exactly in Chicago, but I know out here we have delivery, we have all of those services available. So you know that the money that you're spending with us, or that is going through your insurance, is not going into corporate pockets.
Yes.
Right.
It's going towards healthcare for other people. So it's a way you can feel good about where you get your prescriptions filled. That's the way I look at it. That's why I transferred my prescriptions over there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. I will have him look into that. Yes. So whatever, send me the info when you can.
I will do that. Yeah. I'll send it to you right after we get done.
All right, cool. So
let's get back into politics, though.
Okay. Let's talk about the debate. Let's talk about. Do you want to talk about the debate?
Of course.
Debate. Yes.
Yes.
So
I figured that between the debate and Jack Smith's filing yesterday, we would have plenty to talk about today.
True.
I'm sorry we took a segue into my life.
No, it was fascinating. Thank you very much for sharing all that with us. I mean, it's important.
Yeah, no, I love the work that we're doing. Like I said, it's part of, when I left Stephanie's show, one of the things I was looking for in a new career is someplace where I know I'm fighting the good fight.
Yep.
And that's what I believe we're doing at my new job.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So just because I've left the sexy liberal show doesn't mean I'm not a sexy liberal anymore.
Oh, of course. We'll always think of you as a sexy liberal, Travis.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
So we'll talk about the debate, and I don't know if we'll have time for talking about the Jack Smith thing, but that's pretty fascinating too.
You know what? I mean, look, as far as I'm concerned, we can talk as long as you want to talk, and then I don't care. I mean, it's like, okay, we have to keep it an hour or less, and I'm like, whatever. We can talk for 2 hours. I don't care. It'll be a very special episode.
Well, let's get the debate in for sure, and we can touch on it because JD Vance said some stuff that he got smacked in the face the next day.
My God. Yeah, I was talking about that with Karen earlier about how, JD Vance was so polished and everything, right? And a lot of people, the pundits were like, yeah, he won on, style, right? But Politico, as a matter of fact, Politico, they did a snap poll afterwards, and it came out 50-50. So, like, all the Democrats thought Tim Walz won. All the Republicans thought J.D. Vance won. But what was interesting was the independents. The independents split 58% for Walz and only 42% for Vance. And that is actually where we're going to win the election, is with independents. So he won by 16 more points. Walz did.
I will take that. And I believe it because I think what Tim does is he gets up there and he talks common sense in a way that I think the average person sitting at home could. I know that people were dinging him for saying in Minnesota, but he was talking in realistic terms about how they are getting stuff done. And I think it's a reminder that we all need to keep in our head. Like, everyone gets all excited about the big presidential elections, but it's the down ballot stuff, the smaller stuff. I mean, it doesn't matter if Kamala wins if we lose the House and the Senate.
Right.
I mean,
exactly.
even like when we had Biden with the House and the Senate, look at how much we were able to get done those first 2 years. We lost the House, and nothing.
Well, we won't get anything done, but just electing Kamala would, prevent Donald Trump from getting in office and destroying democracy. That's something. But you're right, we wouldn't get anything done.
If we want any of these policies that Kamala is talking about, we need to have Democrats at those lower levels, and also states like Minnesota prove that these policies work, and we need more of that at the state level too.
Minnesota, Illinois, California, they all prove the states that are run by Democrats prove how much better it is. I mean, look at the states that are run by Republicans, like Texas. It sucks here.
Right.
I mean, we have so much corruption.
Yeah, I think that the trend
voter suppression
since 2016, as we were saying, the trend has been that we've had more turnout, and we've more Democrats have been winning since 2016. And I feel like in this moment we have a captive audience. When you look at that panel after the debate that MSNBC did with those young voters in Michigan, and every young voter that I've spoken to since, they're paying attention, and this is the time. So what are the big issues for young people? Guns, the climate,
reproductive rights,
abortion, definitely.
Student loan forgiveness,
LGBTQ rights,
LGBTQIA rights. So we have them. We have their attention. This is maybe the first time that we've had their attention the way we have. And, Taylor Swift coming out and exciting the younger people.
Not since Obama, 2008.
Yeah,
exactly. And I almost feel, I almost feel like it's even more so now. And I think in the wake of Trump, a lot of that has to do with
I think it has to do with that more.
Right.
Because Obama was pretty exciting.
I think Kamala is exciting though to them as well. It's
Yes.
one of the things that's fun for me that was like a culture shock going from working with like literally where it was like Steph and Chris and I in the basement and Krista on the phones, like at a completely separate location from us. Going from like that small, going into an office, just our department has over 40 people in it.
Yeah.
You know, the company has like thousands of employees, but just our department has 40 people in it. And it was all of a sudden being in an office and, Stephanie will laugh at me for saying this, but I'm one of the olds in the office. I think I might be the fifth oldest person in our office.
I hate when that happens. I hate when that happens. That happened to me too.
I was the baby and now I'm the old man. But to that point, we do have a lot of people who are in their 20s and 30s working in our office, and listening to them talk about Biden before Harris took over, and then since Harris, like all of a sudden they're like, "This is funny. Did you see this? I've got like."
Oh, they're all with TikTok.
The 28-year-old in the office, like in the morning, he's like, "Did you see Haley Joel Osment went in and acted like JD Vance trying to order donuts?"
Does that really happen?
Oh yeah. If you haven't seen it, I'll send it to you. But it was like he did like a skit, like acting like JD Vance going in to order donuts. I'll text it to you right now, Karen, because he texted it to me. So I got it in my phone. But it's like, you know, like little things like that, like the fact that the younger people are really, really paying attention right now, that excites me. And like, I mean, I love that I had to explain what brat was to people.
Yeah, I know.
You know, stuff
Stephanie
like that.
Could not get it. Stephanie could not get that. Brat.
And it's one of those things where it was like, oh yeah. And it's like, but also it's like, working on the social media side of things, because that is my job. I'm social media for our company. Working on that side of things, it's like I had to be quick and on board these things. And I'm watching these trends for work, but I'm also seeing how the Kamala people are jumping on and getting involved in these things. And they're running a really, really smart campaign with the younger voters now. If we can get those younger voters out to vote, that's going to be a huge thing. And I hope that that's what we're building to. Because
I would like to see.
It's exciting.
I would like to see Kamala and Tim do more like podcasts with, you know, like somebody, a popular influencer maybe that's I don't know. I'm trying to think of somebody like JoJo from Jurors, or you know, somebody like that, instead of, you know, I don't know. Can you think of anybody else like? Politics Girl, maybe, or Midas Touch, or something like that.
Brian,
all of them.
But
you know, and
Brian Tyler Cole. Yeah.
I think there are people out there. I'm sorry, we're old.
Yeah.
But there are people out there that we aren't even aware of.
I know.
That have a reach that we don't even understand. So that's something to keep in mind. Is that's there are places for them to do interviews that we would never even think of.
Well, and that's the thing that now, you know, with the media crying that they're not sitting down and doing interviews with them, it's like they don't have to.
No,
they really don't even have to. And honestly, if they were smart, I mean, look at even with Obama with Zach Galifianakis, but you know, Between Two Ferns.
Two Ferns, and he also did
so smart back then, and then now we have like how many more? You know, productions like that where they don't have to ever go on mainstream media on any of these big networks again and give an interview. They really don't.
For as much as they're crying about Kamala not doing interviews, it's not like Trump is sitting down and doing interviews with any of these people.
He goes on with those bros, you know, those young guys that like his
very friendly,
very young. Like what was that guy's name? Oh my God, I forget his name. There was a couple of them that he went on. They were very young dudes, okay? They were probably in their 20s. They're just regular bros. And he goes on there and he looks stupid, but he does it. And he, you know, he gets some exposure with these guys, these young guys. And those are the, you know, people he's appealing to.
But they're in safe, friendly places. He's not doing the hardball interviews that they're complaining that Kamala's not doing either.
Right,
I wish, but I would like to see Tim Walz go on those. I would love to see Tim Walz go on those. I think he could handle them. I think he'd do very fine.
Yeah.
But then, then what did Trump do? He just walked away from the 60 Minutes interview because there was going to be fact checking.
Oh, fact checking. Fact checking he can't handle. He couldn't handle it with the black, what was the NABJ?
NAACP.
NABJ, that the
National
black
Association of
journalist.
Black journalists, yeah.
Because he was fact checking. Remember that?
Yeah.
And he couldn't do it. Now it's 60 Minutes. He got very upset with the fact checking at the debate. They do not like fact checking. It's like they want to just, when you heard J.D. Vance in the debate say, "Oh, you said there wasn't going to be fact checking." It's like he's saying, "I thought you were going to let us lie. We're supposed to be able to lie."
Yeah, so
because that's their strategy.
Yeah,
but the memes about J.D. Vance not wanting to be fact checked have been amazing.
Yes.
Oh, I know. And not only that, but people notice that, that he didn't want, that he said that like an idiot.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
said the quiet part out loud.
Yeah,
exactly. So I have that clip actually. So I'm going to play it for us now.
Our viewers, Springfield, Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected status.
Well, Margaret, but
thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important because
we're going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
The rules were that you guys weren't going to fact check, and since
I just love that.
Fact check.
The way those women just put him in his place. I loved it. Oh my God.
The only thing that bothered me was that they didn't cut his mic because they did give him time to.
I thought they did.
He basically spun his wheels on something that was not. Yeah. He tried to turn it into something it wasn't.
Yeah. I have that too here. So let me just hit it again. Hold on.
Since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand. That is not a person coming in, applying for a green card and waiting for 10 years. That is the facilitation of illegal immigration, Margaret, by our own leadership.
Thank you, Senator, for describing the legal process. We have so much to get to, Senator.
Those laws have been on the books since 1990.
Thank you, gentlemen.
The CBP One app has not been on the books since 1990.
Yes. As a matter of fact, Donald Trump signed that temporary protective status for those Haitians.
Yeah.
It wasn't Kamala Harris or Joe Biden. I'm glad he did. Actually, I'm surprised. He was maybe he didn't know about it and thought he was signing something else. Who knows?
They tricked him.
Yeah, they probably tricked him.
It's not hard.
I mean, no, exactly.
Kamala did it to him for an hour and a half during that first
yes, it's true. We saw how easy it is to manipulate him.
A laser light. You just need a laser light and just like
with the cat, laser pointer. Yeah, no. And so he was the one who signed that, and they came here. They were invited to come to Ohio. I mean, these people, they're just so disgusting what they're doing to these poor people in Springfield. And they're black. I mean, that's what this is all about. There were scary black people coming into your community. There's not 20,000 of them. There's like 5,000 of them. Not that, and they're hardworking people who just want to make a better life for themselves. They were invited into Springfield because they needed workers because their community was dying. That town was dying, and now it's being revitalized because of the policies passed by Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, as a matter of fact, infrastructure and the CHIPS Act, and the Inflation Reduction Act. So, and so they needed more people to come in there, and there's a lot of people that are very, very welcoming. I mean, there's of course going to be there's always some, assholes that are going to, be pissed off that there's, people of color coming in, but what can you do about it?
Well, and I think I was reading earlier that Trump says that he's going to, if when he gets in, he's going to do away with the protected.
He's going to deport them, he said. He's going to deport them immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I think that was one of the things that Tim Walz did after that was he talked about how dangerous what they're doing is because it's that demonizing and stigmatizing people. He's like, the people who are coming in aren't doing these things. They're making up these racist remarks to other them and to make people fearful of them. And that to me is like, it's one of those things. It's not something that's soundbite clippable, but it's something that is like, he explains things in a way that's very easy to understand. And that's where I think that he performed really, really well in that debate. Like if you're listening, he's speaking common sense, and he's speaking
because he comes across as a regular guy. He comes across as your regular, your neighbor, somebody that might, live across the street from you. Right.
Yeah.
And so when you hear him saying that, hey, you know what? these people are just coming here for, to work, or it just comes, makes people start thinking, well, just kind of being more accepting because they see it in him, and they want to be like that. They want to, bring out their better angels.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what did you think about, because I heard, kind of mixed feelings about the fact that Tim Walz was kind of trying to have some agreements with JD Vance and build a little bit of consensus. So I heard some people were like, really, they didn't like it. But then other people, and I'm kind of in this camp where, it felt kind of, because I'm in the camp of like, I called into Steph with this, where like Mortal Kombat, kind of the alpha liberal was like, finish him. Right.
Yeah. A lot of people, a lot of Democrats, base Democrats.
And that's where I am now. But I do really think that, the temperature of it was kind of equal across the board between the two of them. And I feel like if Tim Walz had come in and raised his volume a little bit, or seemed like he wasn't willing to have a conversation or, have some agreement, whatever, that I feel like the people that we are bringing along that don't normally vote for Democrats, I think that really appealed to them. And I also think that it appealed to people even on our side that have always voted Democrat that are just tired of the vitriol and the nastiness.
I think it was bad for Donald Trump. To see, because people do they're tired of that kind of mudslinging that Donald Trump brings to every debate or to every time he's, on the stage. And, I don't like JD Vance. I think he's slimy, but at least he wasn't calling anybody any names, and he wasn't, he just wasn't talking about people eating dogs and cats and screaming.
Not with this crowd. That's the thing about JD Vance is he changes what he is depending upon where he's at.
I know.
And
he's a chameleon.
We kind of like in our household here, Dylan and I, we wanted Walz to come in and kind of get some digs in on him. Yeah. But at the same time, I do think what Tim Walz was able to do in the we agree on this, and then JD Vance kind of had to run from that position.
Yeah.
Most of the time. And so when Tim Walz will say, we agree on this, and then JD Vance runs from that position, it shows how extreme they are. Like, I can't agree with you, even though and I know, and I've said it in all these places. I can't disagree with you, but I've got to run away from you,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think that was a cornering tactic that Tim Walz did very, very effectively against JD on multiple occasions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that we have to think about it politically. As Democrats, and we wanted to see him kind of go on the attack. But the truth is, the people that we want him to get, that we need for Kamala and Tim to win, are people that are not going to be brought in by those kind of tactics.
Well, it's also people like us who. Or people unlike us who aren't like marinating in this every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think like when we were watching the Trump and Kamala debate, we knew enough. And I thought it was so fascinating in the Trump Kamala debate that like in the days leading up to that, I felt like Rachel kept talking about that idea of eating the dogs, eating the cats. She really, really honed in on that.
Yeah.
And so when Kamala went on the attack about that, we all knew what the right-wing crazy sphere was talking about.
Yeah,
like I think with
we
the
all do. It's true.
Yeah, but for like moderates, like for them, they're like, what the fuck is this?
What is he talking about?
And then Trump looks crazy. I think in the Walz Vance debate, where Walz didn't go into deep left talking points.
Yes, it wasn't with that only the people within their bubble here.
Yeah, like people outside of our bubble would hear what he's saying and get it. And I think if he would have gone into any of those attack mode things that we were talking about, he could have risked losing people's attention or them being
which
like,
what Donald Trump did.
About?
That's exactly what Donald Trump did by talking about that stuff. I remember on Twitter, I heard somebody was saying, "Oh yeah," because when they were talking about eating the dogs and eating the cats, when this first was going around, And somebody, some MAGA was like, "Oh yeah, I hope he brings that up during the debate." And I go, "Oh, I hope he does too, because he's going to make a fool of himself." And I turned out to be exactly right, because he made a total ass of himself. But this guy thought it would be great. See, they live in this world where this kind of stuff is fantastic, and Donald Trump, he just swims in it. He doesn't go outside of it now.
Yeah.
So, and that's why he's going to lose.
Yeah, and exactly. And I think that, again, with the young people, they saw the bullshit. They picked out the lies that J.D. Vance, and I think it was a liberal redneck, said, it's like, you could polish that turd. It's still a turd, and so kids understood what he was saying. And that I keep going back to that focus group in Michigan of the young people. These kids saw right through it. So I'm thinking, if that's any kind of representation of the larger demographic, you know what I mean? That was exactly. So, and of course, one of the big topics and important issues to them is abortion. And of course, J.D. Vance tried to say that, oh no, he's not for a national ban, when he's been saying that he's for a national ban.
We know he is. It's it's absolutely.
Yeah, he's absolutely. But the thing about guns too, I think, the young people heard that. Oh, what to do about all these gun deaths the kids are worried about because they're happening in schools, is to reinforce the doors, make sure you're locked, you have a better lock or something like that. Isn't that what he said? Yeah. That sounded ridiculous. And the kids, so the kids were like, that's ridiculous. I heard some young girl, she's like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's the kind of shit that makes them, turns them off, that kind of stuff. And of course, the abortion stuff, I don't know if they've heard him talk about abortion. I don't know that, but they heard that answer about guns.
Well, in that focus group, they definitely reacted to it.
I never supported a national ban. I did when I was running for Senate in 2022 talk about setting some minimum national standard.
I certainly would like abortion to be illegal nationally.
Ohio's going to want to have different abortion laws than California, than Texas, and I think Ohio should have that right. But some minimum national standard is totally fine with me. You talked about the Lindsey Graham bill. The Lindsey Graham bill protects babies who are 4 weeks and older, and it provides reasonable exceptions. If you can't support legislation like that, you are making the United States the most barbaric, pro-abortion regime anywhere in the entire world.
You would vote for Lindsey Graham's 15-week ban?
As I just said, I think it's totally reasonable to say you cannot abort a baby, especially for elective reasons, after 15 weeks of gestation.
Okay.
So, point of order. They're not babies at 4 weeks in utero.
Correct.
Fetuses.
And the only reason why you have an abortion after 15 weeks, I don't know anybody that's had an abortion after 15 weeks. You don't have an abortion after 15 weeks unless something is drastically wrong.
Correct.
And so all this talk about, they need to leave that up to the women and their doctors.
Well,
that's who needs to make those decisions.
The idea that, it's like, okay, it's states' rights, but, they want to do a national ban so that the people that have the strictest abortion bans can't travel across state lines. So it's like there's no.
And also, it makes no sense. They once again, they give the game away when they say that, because if they really believe it's murder, then you know what? It doesn't make any sense to have this patchwork, these patchwork laws about abortion. Murder, is murder, right? They say it's murder. Of course, they're full of shit. What they really want to do is control women. That's why they do these stupid fucking exceptions, like, for rape or incest, which are also bullshit. Because if you think it's life, how is it not life when you're raped or there's incest?
Yeah.
So they're just full of shit. They want to control women.
Yeah. And, and of course, then with the gun issue, when he's talking about, oh, we're just going to put up, bulletproof glass and better locks on the schools and basically make these places of education bunkers. He's talking to kids, young people who lived with active shooter drills. And like that one young lady that was in this focus group in Michigan, she said she was right down the street from a school where it happened.
It's getting to the point where everybody in America knows somebody that has been touched by gun violence or mass shootings.
Well, and the thing to me that's the most insulting about this whole, like, we're going to reinforce schools, it's like, teachers can't afford staples. Teachers can't get books for their classroom. But you're going to take all this money to turn these schools into bulletproof bunkers. You don't
keep your guns. Yeah.
Like, the schools are already underfunded to begin with. How are you going to pay for this? I mean, that's the first question. How are you going to pay for this? Are we going to cut more books? Are we not going to have books in class now anymore? Are we not going to have, access to the supplies that people need to actually teach? It boggles the mind the amount of money they're willing to spend to save their guns.
Yep. And they want to turn schools into prisons. I mean, basically, that's what they're talking about. Yeah. I mean, kids are they're going to go into those little rooms where, like you have in prisons where you're locked in before they have to unlock the door. They have an entry door, and then they have another entry door, and you're kind of stuck there until they open the other one. Yeah. I mean, who wants their kids to go to some place that looks like a prison?
No one does.
Nobody does. And if I had to venture a guess, if you ask them how is that going to be paid for? I mean, these are the same people that fired a bunch of librarians in Houston and set up detention centers essentially for these kids. And they're the same people that want to implement Project 2025 and do away with the Department of Education.
Yeah, so it just won't be schools anymore.
Right.
Yep.
Exactly.
But there'll be guns. There'll be lots of guns.
You can have as many guns as you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's and of course, and this is the thing. And I was telling Anita, and I think I mentioned it on staff as well. I was having a conversation with this cisgender older white man, and he kind of, he noticed that JD Vance was lying. He's like, we saw January 6th. We saw these things happen. We know that was a lie. But at the same time, he really did pretty good. He looked, he spoke well, and he, that kind of shit.
I want to throw a flag on this, though, because his answer to that made me so angry on so many levels, because I asked him about January 6th, and his response was, on January 20th, Donald Trump was there for the peaceful transfer of power. No, Donald Trump was not. Donald Trump got his ass on a plane and skedaddled out of that town. He snuck away. Yep. He was not there for no peaceful transfer of power. He absolutely did not. He was not.
His violent coup failed. So that's why it was peaceful, I guess.
But for JD Vance to say on January 20th, Trump supported peaceful transfer of power. That was the first time in history that I know of where the outgoing president wasn't there to pass the baton to the incoming president.
They had to have the National Guard there. They had to have the National Guard there. They had these big fences. It was not a peaceful transfer of power.
No, and two, let's not forget that Biden and Harris had zero transition time.
Correct.
That's right. That's right.
So that's number one. And then number two, it wasn't, a normal inauguration where there were people out gathered. I was going to actually get tickets, and my sisters and I and my niece planned on going to DC. So we had a room all set up.
That's right. I remember that. Yeah.
So we were going to actually go to the inauguration. We had tickets lined up with Tammy Duckworth, one of our senators. So anyway, and then January 6th happened, and then they said, no, it's going to be basically a virtual inauguration. And so there was
very small.
There was really nobody there. There was no gathering of people out, So
no parade, really.
So you're right, Travis. So it is absolutely insulting for him to sit there and gaslight.
Oh my God!
I think that was, to me, the most insulting. And you forget that we were still in the middle of COVID during that too.
That too, yeah. But
it wasn't going to be a normal.
No, it wasn't never going to be normal. That's what I said to Karen. I said the lies he said were so absurd, like the one you just talked about, peaceful transfer of power. And then what was the other one? Obamacare, that Trump saved Obamacare.
Oh, my God.
I mean, that was so absurd. And then the last thing, when he wouldn't answer about, did Donald Trump lose the election? And he wouldn't answer it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his lies were so absurd that most people remember they tried to take away Obamacare. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that January 6th happened. Everybody knows that Donald Trump didn't show up for the inauguration. So, I mean, it's absurd, those lies. So how can you trust anything he says?
One of the things that I think that is failing for J.D. Vance, thankfully, one skill that weird J.D. Vance does not have is Donald Trump's ability to actually believe the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. And when J.D. Vance stands up there and says these things, it's very easy to spot that he doesn't believe his own bullshit. Like Trump, I do sincerely believe that Trump actually believes the bullshit that comes out of his mouth. And that's why he's so effective at selling it.
He's convinced himself.
Yeah, he's convinced himself that what he is, that this is the truth, this is his reality.
Yeah.
Someone had the secret and he should not have.
Because he knew that he didn't lose, because he was telling everybody, hey, just act like, it doesn't matter whether I lose. You still have to fight. It doesn't matter what the outcome of the election is. He knew he lost, but he has convinced himself that it's the salesman in him, like you said.
Yeah.
That he can convince himself that anything is true if he believes it hard enough. Or what was that on Seinfeld? Seinfeld had some sort of rule like that. It's true if you believe it, or something like that.
Yeah, but that's kind of how Trump operates.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And so, for this man that I was talking to, so he's like, oh, but he delivered the lies so eloquently. And, I'm like, okay, well, here's the thing though, so no, he is not a reasonable person. And he said, this is what he said. He said, he doesn't seem as dangerous as Donald Trump. And I said, he is as dangerous, if not more. And the reason being is his ties to the Heritage Foundation, Project 2025, Kevin
Peter
Roberts,
Thiel.
Peter Thiel, and the fact that he wrote the foreword for Kevin Roberts' upcoming book. He believes in national abortion bans. He believes in the unitary executive theory, where all of the powers coalesce to the executive. He believes in doing away with the independence of federal agencies, doing away with the Department of Education, the EPA. He believes all of these things. And if Donald Trump and J.D. Vance get in, he's a younger, more dangerous version. And if something happens to Trump, he's the guy.
He's a more competent version of Donald Trump.
He's smart. Yeah, he's smarter and he's more competent. You're exactly right. Donald Trump doesn't believe anything. Donald Trump doesn't believe in anything. Right. But this guy actually, like you said, I think he really believes it, because he studied under Peter Thiel. And he's kind of adopted his theories, which are, and we talked about that, where he thinks corporations should run the country. And he doesn't believe in a monopoly. He believes in monopolies. He thinks there should only be monopolies. He believes that basically billionaires should run the country. There shouldn't be any taxes. There shouldn't be any regulations. There shouldn't be any kind of, protections at all.
Yeah.
And so, that is what J.D. Vance believes. Donald Trump doesn't believe anything. He doesn't know enough. He's he's totally ignorant, but he's an empty vessel. That's what's dangerous about Donald Trump. He'll do whatever they ask, what Project 2025. If they get him the presidency, he will do whatever they want, because he won't know anything.
As long as it benefits him.
As long as it benefits him. That's right. As long as as long as they like him.
Yeah. And really all he needs is for him to get all of the, power at the top and not, have to be beholden to anybody. He's got total immunity. He doesn't have to answer to federal agency. DOJ will be his. FBI will be his. The police departments nationally will be his. They have actually spelled that out and talk about it. And so I did want to play this clip, Anita, of how billionaire Peter Thiel and J.D. Vance become a vice president.
A college lecture by a billionaire made J.D. Vance a vice president. Last week, Donald Trump officially announced Ohio Senator J.D. Vance as his running mate, but it's actually another billionaire that Vance has to thank for this, and it all started with a single lecture. At Yale Law School, Vance attended a lecture by PayPal founder Peter Thiel about technological stagnation and the decline of American elites. He thought Thiel was the smartest person he ever met, so after graduating, Vance moved to Silicon Valley to work for the billionaire's venture fund. Mithril Capital. A few years later, Thiel rewarded Vance with enough funds to start his own investment firm. And when Vance was ready to take the leap into politics, it was Peter Thiel who donated $15 million to win him a Senate seat, making it the largest amount of money donated to a single Senate candidate in history. When Trump made his debut into the political scene, Vance was a major critic of the former president. But in 2021, Peter Thiel set up a meeting between Trump and Vance at Mar-a-Lago to smooth over their relationship, and it worked. Following.
Okay. So, yeah, so there's, so this guy has basically been helping JD Vance. He helped him win the Senate, and now he's helped him get into the vice presidency.
Yeah,
it's like Anakin Skywalker from Star Wars being seduced by the dark side. It's like he came from this poor and he got a chance to like level up, and then he got, he has like this mythological story about himself, and he ends up being seduced by the dark side. Up to the point where he completely gives himself over just for power. It's like, wow, I've got money now. Wow, I've got power now. Like he is literally, because I mean, when JD Vance first came on the scene, he passed the smell test. I mean, he would be on Bill Maher's like the liberal.
Yep.
And the common sense talking person. And he he got a little taste of what money is like, and was very quickly seduced. And Peter Thiel might be the smartest person JD Vance ever met, because Peter Thiel recognized you've got a story that will speak to a lot of people. And we can use that to our advantage now that we've corrupted you and made you one of our own. You've got yours. Fuck everyone else. Yeah. And that's what JD Vance is doing now. Yeah. Pardon my language.
No, absolutely.
I will not pardon your language. You just go right ahead.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. That's a great analogy.
It really is. It really is. And it'll actually please Kevin from DC a great deal. And maybe we'll have to get
right. This is true.
Get you two together again.
And maybe Bob Seska. Maybe it'll entice Bob Seska too.
Oh, Bob Seska would definitely agree with that analogy. This is another one I'll throw out there for. No, edit that out. I was going to go on a tangent that would just not. We don't need to go there.
Okay. Now you've got us curious.
I'll tell you after really quickly.
Okay.
So, yeah, I mean, and of course, JD Vance and Peter Thiel are big fans of Curtis Yarvin, who, if you go back to this past Monday's Rachel Maddow show, she kind of gives a little overview about who this guy is. And he
very scary.
Very scary.
These right-wing thought leaders are people that I did not even know existed, and I learned about them through friends and stuff over the years. And one of the things I was saying to you was like, I didn't watch Rachel on Monday. That is one of the nicest sandy preserving things, is that I don't spend my days like I know the overarching soap opera story. I know what's going on, but I don't watch it every day. But like guys like this, it's like you played a little clip of them, and it's so projectionist, and it's like they're saying the other side is doing what we're actually doing. And
it's all the time. It's always projection with them.
Yeah, and you see that with Trump too. Trump projects. I mean, like if Trump accuses the Democrats of doing it,
that's what he's doing.
Oh, that he's done it, or is doing it, or planning to do it.
Well, JD Vance, he's always like obsessed with women and having children. And hold on, I need a drink of water.
And couches.
And couches. But he's obsessed with this. Like, it's almost like he's trying to convince himself that he's happy with the choices he's made. Because I don't know what's up with him. He wears eyeliner. Right.
Well, we know, look, Anita, we know he's not happy because he's with a woman and not a couch. And until JD Vance can definitively prove to me that he has not and does not want to fuck a couch, a love seat, an ottoman, a Barca lounger, a recliner, a lazy boy.
What was it?
Until he proves it to me, I believe it's true.
I believe it's true. You know why? Because it seems like, he seems like the couch fucking type.
He does.
He does.
Well, I think John Fugelsang called him Vladimir Futon.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I like that one. Yep.
So anyway, but yeah, so I really think Walls, and it's not because I'm in a liberal bubble. But I really do think just on content alone, Tim Walz absolutely walked away with that, and he came across very well. And I liked the fact that he didn't get shouty,
He's likable. He's very likable. That's what it is. I was talking, telling Karen, it's kind of like with, Democrats with Al Gore and then versus George W. Bush. Al Gore definitely, beat George W. Bush and style and everything else. But because George W. Bush just came across as kind of this, good old boy that you wanted to have a beer with, he won the election.
There's a thing that's big in social media right now. And I feel like this is like my takeaway from that whole debate is the people, like when you're looking at social media, people want to follow people who they feel are authentic. And Tim Walz comes across as authentic. He's not perfect. He misspoke a few times. He may have stumbled over his words. He may have been nervous because, like, God knows, all of us would have been nervous if we were on that stage. And also, I would have been freaked out if I was Tim Walz too, because he did his debate prep against Pete Buttigieg. That sounds like the scariest fucking. That's like my nightmare of like showing up to class without any clothes on. But it's like showing up to my class without any clothes on and having to talk to Pete Buttigieg intelligently, like that, just like, or like I forgot my homework, like Tim Walz,
or having to debate Pete Buttigieg. I mean, really, that's pretty scary.
So Tim Walz brought authenticity to that, and JD Vance did not. And I think that is something that is that the younger generation is very good at sussing out.
Yeah.
And I think that's part of what you were saying about the reactions from the student groups that watched the debate with MSNBC. Yep. I think authenticity is such an important thing. And it's like, that's like when people hear you guys talking about this, it's authentic. We're having real conversations when we're talking on Stuffing Show. We're having these real authentic conversations. Yes. And I think at the end of the day, that's a big chunk of the reason why Tim Walz won was because of his authenticity.
Absolutely.
It's true. When I hear a politician, honestly, I don't even want to listen. I'm like, you know what? They all sound the same to me.
Yeah.
I mean, even Democrats, because they never seem to really have an answer to a question. And even when they do, it's so polished and they're always afraid of, they don't want to offend anybody. So they're, so when you see authenticity, it's attractive. It's something, different. And he doesn't look like a polished politician.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I think the same can be said about, the Eric Swalwells and the Jasmine Crockett's and the AOCs. They're people like us. They have lived real lives out here. And they can
definitely Jasmine Crockett.
I mean, but they.
She's fabulous.
But they.
I love her.
I know, me too.
Speak to their experiences, and they bring their experience. And I think that's what really matters. I think that a lot of times, for these politicians, Democrats, Republicans that have been in office for as long as, like, say, Dick Durbin. Dick Durbin, I'm sorry, but it's like, I love him, but he, I think, has really lost touch with and just kind of forgotten the fact that it's like, you're not there to make nice with Republicans and worry about them. You're here to listen to your constituents and go and act accordingly. Yep. And I think that is, for me anyway, that is what, like, Tim Walz and Kamala Harris, what they bring to the table.
She comes across as authentic too, I think.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I think Kamala Harris comes across as very authentic. I mean, the way she laughs and the way she just looks like she's having a great time right now.
It's definitely kicking in with the younger generation. I can tell you that 100% from what I'm seeing.
It's so
with
brat.
The people I work with. Yeah, brat.
It's very brat.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, she's just honestly, watching her, running for president, she is just having so much fun. And Donald Trump seems like he is miserable. He is just fucking miserable. He does not want to, he is slogging through this because he wants to stay out of prison. Okay. Yep. Yeah. And so she's over there just, it's just so, it makes me feel great. Even watching her, it makes me feel happy.
Well, and just
brings me joy.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly the word, joy. But looking at the RNC where Donald Trump is like creepily going over and like humping the American flag.
Oh God, I know. Kissing the helmet.
Helmet of the guy who died at his rally. I mean, it was just so cringe and so just so
with a tampon on his ear. Don't forget about that.
Oh yeah, that.
Right.
No, it was Kotex. It was Kotex. Get that straight.
Right.
Not my area of expertise.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say you wouldn't know, probably.
Then you juxtapose it with the DNC and like even the roll call with all of the music and the dancing. And so I don't know if you saw the SNL cold open. Did you watch that? Oh my God, that was so funny. How about when they cut away to go to the Trump rally and then
they're moving the glass.
Speaking, and then he says, okay, well, we're going to go back over to the Harris rally where we're being told that the dancing is coming to
she's dancing TLC.
I'll take it.
Yeah. I mean, that was a great cold open because it really reflected with the way it seems to everybody, the way there's so much joy and happiness and people, and Kamala and Tim Walz are happy people. They just seem like they're having a good time. And and her and Dougie, oh my God, they seem so in love. And, and Tim Walz's kids and his wife, they're just adorable.
That's why I'm voting for happiness in November.
Absolutely. That's a great, that's a great way to put it. Because you go over there with Donald Trump and his family won't even be around him. I mean, I guess the sons are there somewhere, but his wife's never there. Ivanka's not there anymore.
No, that hurts him the most.
Yeah, probably so. Why though?
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, no, I mean, it just seems miserable. Even the RNC was so weird. Did y'all find the convention weird? I mean, they had Hulk Hogan. What was that?
Tearing his shirt off?
Yes.
I like I said, I did not. I knew that Hulk was there, but didn't have to watch it. Sorry.
I didn't watch it either. You know what? I caught the clips. I caught the clips. I couldn't.
That's more what I saw was like I would see something pop up on my Twitter feed.
Yeah, the clips. And Kid Rock was his stupid song. He just sounded. I mean, just how old is he anyway? Jumping around doing that same thing, and just I don't know. The whole thing was weird.
Yeah. No, you're right. 100% weird.
Crazy people and weirdos. So I think we're gonna close up here, but so Travis, between now and then, so how many days do we have now? I think
we're down to like 34,
33. I think it's 33.
I think it's 33. I think so. Yeah. So what are you thinking as far as like what are you doing? Are you I know you're busy with work.
The ballot initiatives.
I mean, I'm working on ballot initiatives in California. That's really where my focus is at right now as far as elections are concerned, because it is the local elections are where you make the most difference.
Yep.
Whether it's your city hall, your city council, judges.
No, DAs, it's important. It's
those are the things that are really important. But I'm 100% like, we got Adam Schiff to win out here.
Yep.
We've got that's the biggest thing for me right now.
You got some superstars.
We've got rock stars out here in California. It's easy to be here, and this is where I'm a terrible person right now. I couldn't even tell you the name of the woman who is running for Adam Schiff's seat, who's the Democratic nominee. But it's also like I'm not worried because I know she's going to win.
Yeah, it's a Democrat.
And it's just it's like I've looked her name up so I know who it is, but I that's where I'm at right now. Is just like it's frustrating and hard being in California where we know pretty much what the outcome is going to be in our area.
Yeah.
But it's a nail biter, and we need to keep our eye on the prize all the way until the end. We cannot assume like we did in 2016. Yeah. We need to make it's like put your foot on the pedal, push down the gas,
turn it off,
go all the way through until November.
I think that there are some very winnable races. I think Gallego's doing really well in Arizona. I think that
very well. I mean, she's just like Yeah. Colin Allred.
Yeah, Colin Allred seems to be doing better.
And let me just say this, in case you don't know, Colin Allred is running.
Oh, I know who he is.
Ted Cruz. Okay. Yeah.
No, come on. A former football player running for Senate in Texas. He better be Ted Cruz, the most hated man in Senate.
I know. Well, he was ahead the last poll. He was ahead by 1 point. So that's something.
Yeah.
But I also don't trust the gerrymandering and
it's not the gerrymandering. It's the voter suppression. Did you see
suppression?
They raided those LULAC. They were registering voters. Those women, they were old women, like this 87-year-old woman. They took all her electronic equipment. They embarrassed her. They brought her out. She had to stand outside in her pajamas for hours.
Yeah. Well,
they're trying to intimidate people. Yeah.
And they're also making it harder to vote. I have a friend who he's a news reporter actually in Houston, and he lives in a neighborhood they deem transitional because it's like gentrification is going on there and people are moving in and out. And so there was only one voting center. It was at the university. And it was like he and his husband went first thing in the morning, and they had to wait 8 hours to vote.
Wow. Oh, my God.
In Houston, Texas. And so
Houston's bad as far as that goes.
They're really, 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 really trying to make it hard to vote if you are if you seem like you'd be leaning Democrat.
They're they're afraid because we are a minority state, and we should not be red. We should be purple or blue. And because so that's why they're afraid. That's
so find a way to vote.
Yes. Yeah. So check your voter registration if you live in Texas and vote early so that you know that you get it, get it done as soon as you can.
So vote.org is a really good resource, and people can go there and help other people register to vote, register themselves, check their voter registration, learn when the dates are where you can early vote, or if you can early vote. They're a great resource. I have a niece who is living in Houston, and she's actually she just got her voter's registration, and
she needs to vote early because
I told her, I did tell her, I was like, you need to make sure you know exactly what you need to do. Call the Democratic Party office and find out exactly what you need to do, where you need to go. And I'm like, if you can go early, go, because they are definitely going to try and stop people in.
Oh, and the lines are long, like Travis was just saying, in Texas. It's in Houston. It has the worst lines. Yeah. People wait there. As a matter of fact, I remember they had like the longest line in one of the precincts. It was in Houston.
Yeah.
Than anywhere else in this country. Yeah. So it's bad.
Yeah. So, and then we have a big one in Ohio too with Sherrod Brown. And that Marino guy apparently is like another George Santos, only even worse, it sounds like.
Yeah.
So
we need Sherrod. Sherrod is like, I love him. Him and John Tester both. I'm worried, but we need them both back in.
Right.
Both of them. Yeah. They're both very good, very great senators.
Get Gallego in. I don't know how it's looking down in Missouri with Kuntz, but I would love to take out Fistine.
Who was that guy that Stephanie had on? What was his name?
Yeah, it was Kuntz. And he's running.
Yeah, Lucas
that
Kuntz.
was his name?
Yeah.
He seemed great. Yeah, I liked him.
He's running against Hawley, right?
Yeah. Fisting aficionado Josh Hawley. Yes. It's actually, that's his official title. You can't just say Josh Hawley because there's many other Josh Hawleys. There's only one fisting.
That's true. There's
aficionado.
Josh
Hawley. That is a very good.
But he said it's a really close race now. He said they're within 4 points, and he used to be behind by double digits. So he's getting there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Josh Hawley is pretty punchable. Like he's got that face that you kind of.
He's like Ted Cruz. Yes, very punchable.
He's pretty fistable. Yeah. Oh wait, I said that out loud. Oh.
I don't know what it is about. He gives me just really creepy vibes.
Watch any pictures of him kissing his wife or videos of him kissing his wife, and then you'll get really creeped out, and then you'll really think about the aficionado part.
Yeah.
Well, not only that, but who writes a book about manhood? I mean, that's so weird. About
somebody who's very insecure.
Yeah, that's
and
what
obsessed
I mean.
with men.
Yeah, yes. I mean, yes, testicle tanning. He was really into that, from what I understand.
Ugh.
I mean, people. What is it with men, Travis?
We've gone after hours now on this, guys.
That's true. Okay.
This is the after hours. This is the after hours show. We'll have to do it like
I didn't even have
when
a
you start
cocktail for
drinking.
this.
Yeah, when you start drinking.
I didn't even have a cocktail for this one. You just imagine where this could go if you guys got me later in the day.
Oh my gosh.
We'll have to try that. We'll have to try that sometime.
We will have to do that. But anyway, so Travis, so great to see you again. Thank you.
Yes, it's great to talk to you, Travis. It was a delight.
Lovely.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much.
See you in November. We'll be there from the 1st to the 5th. So definitely hope that we can.
That's right. You're going to be there. Yeah, she's going to be there. So
yeah, we'll connect while you're here. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you guys have fun. At least you'll be away, so you won't have to be all nervous about the election. That's which I'm just gonna. I don't know how I'm gonna survive until.
You'll be the liberal bastion of California during the election.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, will.
We're going to be flying back, and I think we get in just as the polling places close here in Illinois. So, then we're going to zip home and turn on the TV and.
Oh, God. Yes. Oh, my God. I'm so nervous about it.
Yeah.
I'll give you some cocktail recipes.
Oh, thank you. That would be great. You could,
very, very.
I can give you my number. You can text them to me.
Absolutely.
I got your number now from Karen.
Okay. Well, then text them to me. I would love to have your cocktail recipes, honestly.
Will do. Okay. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you, Travis. It was so fun. It was so fun. You're always a delight, really, always. And I miss you. Hunt Stephanie. I can't help it.
Well, I'll be back.
You're my favorite.
I'll be around. I'll be around.
Okay.
We love you. All right. Well, thank you so much. And
bye, Travis.
Hope you do it again.
Love you. Take care.
Love you guys too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.